that was explained already. So, and any question regarding to our lesson from last week? Any point not clear from our lesson from last week? You may question again.
លោកគ្រូខ្ញុំសូមសួរមួយលោកគ្រូ
Okay.
ពពួក virtual ដែលគេប្រើលើ bare method ដូចជា proxmox អីហ្នឹងគេអាចហៅវាថាជា IaaS ហ៎លោកគ្រូ
Sure.
ដូច EXSI អីលោកគ្រូ
Yeah, sure. But yeah, some sort of technology like Proxmox, like VMware ESXi, those are considered to be the IaaS. Yes. Any more question? No. Okay, so let us continue from the point we left off. Right, so in here, we want to go to more deeply inside the IaaS. Cloud is made up of application, network, storage, and storage virtualization. Yeah. So normally, here are some virtualization technology that's combined together in order to build up the cloud service. So let us talk more detail about the application virtualization. Application virtualization are divided into two categories. The first one is a remote application virtualization, and the second one is a streaming application virtualization. ចឹង application virtualization ហ្នឹងគឺត្រូវបានបែងចែកទៅជាពីរផ្នែកទីមួយគឺ remote application virtual ហើយនិងទីពីរគឺ streaming application virtual. Okay. Remote application run on the server. End user view and interact with their application over the network via remote display protocol. ចឹងកន្លែងហ្នឹងគឺគេថាពួក remote application ហ្នឹងគឺ run នៅលើ server ចាំពាក្យថា remote គឺជាអ្វីដែលមិនមែន run នៅលើខ្លួនឯងតើអត់ពាក្យថា remote គឺអ្វីដែលមិនមែន run នៅលើខ្លួនឯងអូខេចឹងឧទាហរណ៍ថាខ្ញុំយក computer Mac របស់ខ្ញុំហ្នឹងទៅ remote ចូល CentOS server អញ្ចឹងអា CentOS server ហ្នឹងគឺគេហៅថា remote server មកទៅដល់ពេល Mac computer Mac របស់ខ្ញុំវិញគឺគេហៅថា remote client អូខេមកទៅអ្វីដែលអ្នក run ពិតប្រាកដហ្នឹងគឺ CentOS server តើ remote server and remote client. Okay, so let me clarify a little bit about the word remotes. About the word remote. Actually, the word remote can be divided into two. They are remote server and remote client. Remote server refer to the one that allow another one to be remote too. Okay. For example, if I use my computer, I mean that my MacBook to remote into the CentOS to the CentOS primary server. So that's CentOS primary server is the remote server. It's a remote server, okay? And my MacBooks is the remote client. Okay. So remote application virtualization run on the server. Yeah, it's run on the server. End user view and interact with the application over display protocol. So in order to use that remotes, so the user just need to have only the application that can use to remote into that. Okay. The remote application can be completely integrated with the user desktop so that they appear and behave just like local application. ហើយកន្លែងហ្នឹងគេថា remote application ហ្នឹងគឺអាច embed គឺអាច merge ជាមួយនឹងdesktop របស់យើងព្រោះទៅវាអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យយើងប្រើហ្នឹងប្រើ remote application ហ្នឹងប្រៀបបានទៅនឹងប្រើ local application ដូចអញ្ចឹងឯងតើ ចឹងសរុបសក្តីឲ្យខ្លីមកពាក្យថា remote application ហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើ application ដែលមិនមែន run លើ computer យើងឬក៏ device យើងទេគឺវា run នៅលើមួយចំហៀងទៀតព្រោះទៅដល់ពេលយើងចង់ប្រើគឺយើង remote ទៅប្រើតែម្ដងតើបាន Okay so in short the word remote application refer to the application that does not run on your computer or your device. It runs on the other side, and we can use our computer or our device in order to remote and use those applications remotely, okay? And that is remote application. The next point is a streaming application virtualization. The word stream, okay? Can anyone define the word stream, please? Stream. Can someone translate or give any idea the word stream here? No, no. Actually, the word stream here refer to something that it's similar to like download. Okay, streaming here just similar to the way we download. Okay. Virtualized application is executed on the end user local computer. So, opposite to remote application, the virtual application is running on the user computer. អញ្ចឹងវាផ្ទុយពី remote application ដែល remote application ហ្នឹងអ្វីៗទាំងអស់គឺ run នៅលើ server ផ្ទុយទៅវិញពួក streaming application គឺ run នៅលើ computer របស់យើងផ្ទាល់ When application is requested, its components are downloaded to the local computer on demand. អញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែលយើងចង់ប្រើ application អស់ហ្នឹង component មួយចំនួនត្រូវបាន download មកចូល computer របស់យើង Only certain part of the application are required in order to launch. The remainder can be downloaded in the background as needed. អញ្ចឹងគឺថាផ្នែកខ្លះនៃ application ហ្នឹងគឺត្រូវបាន download មកដាក់យក computer យើងល្មមអាច run បានព្រោះតែនៅពេលដែលវាទៅការអីថែមទៀតបានវាយកទៅ download នៅក្នុង background បន្តទៀតមកតើបានថ្ងៃពេកអញ្ចឹងនិយាយខ្លីទៅឧទាហរណ៍របស់ stream application ហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើសេរីពួក game online អីចឹងតើអត់អញ្ចឹងពួក game online អីគឺយើងត្រូវតែ download មកហ្នឹងហើយ download មក package វាមកល្មមមកអាច run បានហើយទៅនៅពេលដែលយើងលេង game online អីអស់ហ្នឹងគឺវាទៅការ C graphic របស់ computer យើងតើនេះ execute on and local user computer ចឹងមានថាយើងនៅពេលដែលយើងលេង game online ហ្នឹងគឺវា C graphic នៅលើ computer របស់យើងគឺវា run នៅលើ computer របស់យើងគ្រាន់តែ component មួយចំនួនទៀតដូចជា map ដូចជាអីអស់អញ្ចឹងជា map ដូចជាអីហ្នឹងគឺត្រូវតែ download constantly គឺ download បន្តគ្នានៅពេលដែលយើងលេងអញ្ចឹងទៅតើបងប្អូនគ្នា
បានលោកគ្រូបាន
Okay so a good example of this streaming application refer to like online gaming when you are playing online game first of all you need to download a package a whole package of that game first okay you need to download the whole package of that game and install on your computer and when you play the game the game would consume your GPU your VGA okay so that is why it is execute on your local computer and when you continue playing the game the game will constantly download more and more components in order to play more and more okay let's say for example it may download maps or other component when needed to synchronize with the other player right okay
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, sure.
So is it different from, for example, shadow gaming, which is so you connect to a server and you don't need to install the game, you don't need to do anything, just to connect to a machine and just to play the game.
Okay.
The company name is Shadow Gaming. I don't know. Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, is it different from this situation?
Sure. Those that kind of game that you have just mentioned refer to remote application. That one refer to remote application because everything run on the server side. So that is remote application.
And is it what are the pros or the cons of this two different way of cloud computing?
Excuse me, can you question again, please?
Yes, of course. So these are two different way of cloud computing. One is streaming application, for example, and the other one is the
Remote.
user, yeah, remote computer. So
Okay.
what exactly are the pros and cons of each of the both utilization of the cloud computer?
Okay, that's a great question. Uh, Actually, each type of virtualization, each type of application virtualization have its own benefit and disadvantage. Sure. Let's say the remote application virtualization, when everything running online, when everything running on the server side, so on the client side, we don't have to care much about the maintenance. We don't have to care. We do not need to have a high-end device in order to run those applications. Okay, but constantly you need to have internet connection all the time in order to use that, right? And talking about the streaming application that is used for, let's say, some sort of big application that require that big application that require maybe more of a computer resource that this one cannot be running 100% online. So it has to be running some part on your computer, and the other part need to be synchronized with the server.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. ចឹងទាំង remote ទាំង streaming ហ្នឹងគឺមានគុណសម្បត្តិហើយនិងគុណវិបត្តិគឺរៀងៗខ្លួនព្រោះ remote ហ្នឹងគឺអ្វីៗទាំងអស់គឺ run នៅលើ server ប៉ាកេតទាំងអស់យើងអត់ទៅការខ្វល់ទេឧទាហរណ៍យើងលេង game នៅលើ Facebook app ចឹងទៅអ្វីៗទាំងអស់គឺ run នៅលើ server ហើយស្រេចយើងគាត់ថាបើកមកទោះបីជា computer យើងឬក៏ទូរស័ព្ទយើង version អីមុំហ្នឹងគឺអាចឲ្យតែបើកចេញគឺលេងបានធម្មតាហើយអូខេប៉ុន្តែគុណវិបត្តិរបស់វាគឺវាទៅការ internet all the time អូខេដល់ពេល streaming application វិញគឺទុកសម្រាប់ run game ធំៗអូខេអញ្ចឹង game អស់ហ្នឹងគឺវាទៅការ high end graphic អីចឹងទៅអញ្ចឹងវាទៅការខ្ចី CPU ខ្ចី resource របស់ computer ហ្នឹងមួយផ្នែកដើម្បី run វាហើយទៅវាគ្រាន់តែទៅការផ្នែកមួយចំនួនទៀតដូចជា map ដូចជា data មួយចំនួនដែលវាត្រូវការ synchronize ជាមួយនឹង player ផ្សេងទៀត real player ផ្សេងទៀតហ្នឹងគឺវា download បន្តទៅគ្នាតំណាក់តិចមកតាន់ right so once the download is complete stream application can function without network connection អញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែល game ហ្នឹងវាអាច download ឲ្យបានមកនេះហើយក៏វាក៏សម្រាប់ខ្លះទៅវាអត់ទៅការគឺវាអត់ទៅការ network រហូតពេកទេតើអត់វាផ្ទុយពីពួក remote នេះគឺទៅការ internet រហូតតើ so in here when the download is completed stream application can function without online so in here it's mentioned that the streaming application does not always require internet connection that is opposite from remote application that the remote application need constantly have the internet connection okay and next one we are talking about the network virtualization The process of combining hardware, software, network resource, and network functionality into a single component. ជាពាក្យថា network virtualization គឺសំដៅទៅលើវិធីសាស្ត្រមួយដែលយើងអាច combine hardware ផ្សេងមានដូចជាមានដូចជា hardware មួយ hardware computer ហ្មងមានទាំង network មានទាំង hard disk មានទាំងអីទាំងអស់ហ្នឹង combine វាយកគ្នាធ្វើជា machine server មួយ So this refers to the method of combining hardware and combining multiple hardware in order to create some sort of the virtual server. It is a method of combining available resource in a network by splitting up available bandwidth into channels, each of which is independent from one another and can be assigned to a particular server or device in real time. អញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែលគេ combine network combine អីចូលគ្នាអស់ហើយខ្លះបានទៅជា resource ធំមួយហើយគេអាចកាត់ network bandwidth ឬក៏អាចកាត់ resource ធំហ្នឹងឲ្យទៅជាតូចឲ្យទៅឧទាហរណ៍ថា network ហ្នឹងទៅគេអាចកាត់វា speed របស់វាឲ្យទៅជា channel ផ្សេង channel ច្រើនហើយទៅ channel មួយហ្នឹងគឺវាឯករាជ្យពីគ្នាគឺអត់មានពាក់ព័ន្ធគ្នាទេអូខេអញ្ចឹងដូចអ៊ីនធឺណិតយើងប្រើសប្តាហ៍ថ្ងៃនៅផ្ទះនៅអីចឹងទៅឧទាហរណ៍ថាផ្ទះតែយើងប្រើអ៊ីនធឺណិត DG ហ្នឹងផ្ទះជាប់យើងប្រើអ៊ីនធឺណិត DG ហ្នឹងដែរដល់ពេលចេញពីផ្ទះយើងទៅគឺចូលប្រអប់ប្រគេមួយហ្នឹងអាប្រអប់ហ្នឹងគឺបែងចែក channel ហើយ speed fiber optic វាធំយ៉ាងទៅរួចទៅគេកាត់ទៅជា channel ហត់មួយហត់ចូលតាមផ្ទះយើងដល់ពេលចេញពីផ្ទះយើងចូលប្រអប់រួមបានប្រអប់រួមហ្នឹងបាន share ទៅខ្សែធំចូលរួមចូលគ្នាយ៉ាងទៅប៉ុន្តែយើងប្រើរៀងផ្ទះរៀងខ្លួនគឺអត់មានពាក់ព័ន្ធគ្នាទេអូខេ Okay, so in here it's mentioned that the way that network virtualization work is about the combining multiple resource. Let's say network bandwidth combine together, okay, into the high-speed bandwidth, and then they split up those bandwidth into channel. That each channel is independent from one another. Okay, and the component of network virtualization may include virtual network card and virtual switch. Okay, ចឹង component ហ្នឹងអាចមានពីរគឺ virtual network card ហើយនិង virtual switch. Okay, any question regarding to the network virtualization?
Nó có ai chơi họ OT họ network virtualization នឹងតិចមែនទេលោកគ្រូ
network virtualization ហ្នឹងគឺអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំ mention មិនអញ្ចឹងឧទាហរណ៍ថាតែយើងប្រើអ៊ីនធឺណិតក្រុមហ៊ុនហ្នឹងតែជាប់យើងប្រើអ៊ីនធឺណិតនៅក្រុមហ៊ុនដូចយើងដែរអូខេចេញពីផ្ទះយើងទៅហើយទៅចេញពីផ្ទះអ្នកជាប់ផ្ទះយើងទៅគឺចូលប្រអប់មួយគឺចូលប្រអប់ដូចរបៀប switch ចឹងប្រអប់ហ្នឹងប៉ុន្តែមិនមែន switch ទេគឺចូលប្រអប់មួយហើយទៅបានចេញពីប្រអប់មួយហ្នឹងមកក្រោកខ្សែធំមួយទៅកាន់ក្រុមហ៊ុន ISP អាហ្នឹងហើយគឺគេហៅថា network virtualization
បានលោកគ្រូ
អូខេចឹងបើនិយាយខ្លីទៅគឺជាវិធីសាស្ត្រដែលគេ combine bandwidth combine អីហ្នឹង combine bandwidth combine ខ្សែច្រើនយកគ្នាឲ្យទៅជា bandwidth ធំហើយរួចទៅបានគេ split ទៅជា channel ទូចចូលនៅផ្ទះរៀងខ្លួនចឹងទៅហើយទៅ channel ចូលតាមផ្ទះហ្នឹងគឺវាឯករាជ្យនេះគឺ independent channel គឺ independent បើនិយាយមែនតើពាក្យថា virtualization ហ្នឹងគឺជារបស់ដែលមិនមានពិតអូខេរបស់ដែលមានពិតរបស់ដែលគេ combine ចូលគ្នាហើយទៅគេ split ទៅជា resource ទូចដើម្បី share ទៅឲ្យប្រើទាំង application ក៏ដោយទាំង network ក៏ដោយទាំង storage ក៏ដោយសុទ្ធតែជារបស់ដែលគេ combine ចូលគ្នារួចទៅបាន share ទៅជាទូចវិញតោះអត់ឧទាហរណ៍ថាពាក្យថា storage virtualization ចឹងយើងឧទាហរណ៍ថាក្រុមហ៊ុន Dropbox ឬក៏ក្រុមហ៊ុន Google Drive ហ្នឹងគឺគេ combine storage ច្រើនចូលគ្នាឲ្យទៅជាយ៉ាងធំទៅជារាប់លាន terabyte យ៉ាងទៅរួចទៅបានគេកាត់ឲ្យuser មួយនេះ basic user ឲ្យ 510G ឲ្យ user មួយនោះជា premium user ឲ្យ 100G ចឹងទៅតោះអត់ ប៉ុន្តែសួរថា 100G របស់យើងនៅណាអត់ដឹងណាទេអត់ដឹងទៅទុកនៅប្រទេសណាទេអូខេគេ combine ចូលគ្នាទៅជា data center ធំហើយបានគេ limit set ឲ្យយើងប្រើបានប៉ុន្មាន G ចឹងទៅ right so here is next we are talking about the storage virtualization. The process of grouping physical storage from multiple network storage devices so that it looks like a single storage device. So in short, the storage virtualization, just like the way we combine a multiple storage hardware to become the very big data center. Okay, let's say for example like Dropbox or like Google Drive, they combine many hardware, many storage hardware together to become a very large data center, and then they simply just devise or give permission to each user to use a particular amount of storage. Okay, example like normal user they can use a 15 GB, while the other user or licensed user they have 100 GB like that. Okay, so in short, the word virtualization here refer to the technology that combine resources together in order to become a large resource pool or large data center, larger center, and then they split those resources into the small amount to share to each user. Okay, and last but not least, server virtualization. The masking of the server resource, including the number of individual physical server, processor, and OS from user. So the word virtualization here, just like virtual machine, okay? Just like virtual machine. It's the way they combine many physical server together, with a multiple processor and multiple OS combined together, and then make it become the virtual machine and allows client to use. Chẳng ពាក្យថា server virtualization ហ្នឹងអត់មានអីទេគឺសម្រាប់ទៅលើ virtual machine ហ្នឹងឯងគ្រាន់តែនៅលើ data center របស់គេហ្នឹងគឺគេមាន machine physical server ច្រើនអញ្ចឹងទៅវាទៅគេ combine ចូលគ្នាហើយបានចាប់ផ្ដើមកាត់ machine នេះ share CPU ឲ្យ2គ្រាប់ machine មួយនោះ share RAM ឲ្យ 2G combine យកគ្នាបង្កើតទៅជា virtual machine មួយ share តែឲ្យគាត់មួយនោះប្រើទៅតើអត់មួយទៀត physical machine នោះមាន server ប៉ុណ្ណេះគ្រាប់មាន RAM ប៉ុណ្ណេះ G combine យកគ្នាបង្កើតទៅជា virtual machine មួយទៀតដាក់ OS មួយនេះទៅ share តែឲ្យ client ទី2ប្រើទៅតើអត់អាហ្នឹងគឺ server virtualization ហ្នឹងឯង okay. The server administrator use the software application to divide physical server into multiple isolated virtual environment called guest, instance, or container or emulation. Okay, so in short, the server virtualization use the software in order to divide the real physical server into isolated virtual environment. The word isolated virtual environment here is refer to independent virtual machine. Okay, refer to multiple independent virtual machine. So each virtual machine are independent from one another. Okay, that virtual machine can be called as a guest, instance, container, or emulation. ចឹងចាំបើយើងប្រើពាក្យធម្មតាគឺយើងប្រើពាក្យថា virtual machine ប៉ុន្តែបើនៅក្នុងកន្លែងផ្សេងទៀតជួនកាលគេហៅវាថា guest ជួនកាលគេហៅវាថា instance ជួនកាលហៅថា container ជួនកាលហៅថា emulation ប៉ុន្តែក៏ពិតទាំងអស់ពាក្យទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើ virtual machine ហ្នឹងឯង Okay, so the server virtualization here refers to virtual machine, and the virtual machine itself sometimes it can be called guest or instance or container or emulation, but all in all these four keywords are simply referred to virtual machine. Okay, especially in the cloud computing, we normally call the virtual machine as the instance. Okay. In a simple word, you may call it virtual machine, but in terms of cloud computing, we call it instance. Okay. So any question regarding to all this kind of virtualization?
I just didn't understand what is it masking.
Masking, excuse me, from where?
Server virtualization. The second word.
The masking, oh yes, the masking, the word masking here refer to the hiding of a computer resource. Actually, for example, like the big company like Facebook or like Google, they hide everything. Okay, everything
Yes.
are hidden. We don't know their where do they store their storage server, where what is their operating system to control, to manage the Facebook, what kind of network, or you don't even know the real IP address of the Facebook. Okay, so the masking here refer to hidden.
Okay.
They combine the results together, but it was hidden.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Any more question before we move on? Nope. Okay, so here I just want to revise again about the advantages of the using cloud. Okay. The first one, I think if you read all of this, it could be a little fuzzy. So let me explain in a very easy and simple words. Okay. Optimize server utilization. The word optimize here refer to the way we use the server up to the optimum level. It means that we want to use it as much as possible without wasting any resources. You got me? Optimize here refer to the way we use the server resource as much as we can without wasting any resource. Okay. ចឹងពាក្យថា optimize server virtualization កន្លែង utilization កន្លែងហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើថាបើយើងប្រើ Sripo Cloud ហ្នឹងគឺយើងអាចប្រើ resource មានតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងទេប៉ុន្តែយើងប្រើ resource ហ្នឹងឲ្យអស់ពីលទ្ធភាពហ្មងតោះអត់វាខុសពីវាខុសពី real physical server ឧទាហរណ៍ថាយើងចង់deploy យើងចង់ hosting system មួយរួចទៅយើងគ្រាន់តែស្មានតែអូខេ user 3000 នាក់អូខេ user 3000 នាក់អញ្ចឹងទៅវាប្រហែលជា C storage អស់ប្រហែលវាប្រហែលជា C RAM អស់ប្រហែលអញ្ចឹងទៅគឺយើង plan server អញ្ចឹងតែនៅពេលធៀបពិតមកជួនកាល user វាអាចតិចជាងឬក៏ជួនកាល user វាអាចច្រើនជាងអញ្ចឹងទៅយើង plan បាក់ស្មានរួចទៅជួនកាលបើយើងទិញ server ធំពេកវា wasting resource បើយើងទិញ server ទូចពេកវាអត់អាច run performance វាគ្រប់ទប់ជាមួយ user ហ្នឹងបានតែផ្ទុយទៅវិញបើយើងប្រើ cloud ហ្នឹងយើងអាចស្រង់បានអញ្ចឹងទៅបើ user យើងឥឡូវហ្នឹងមានប៉ុណ្ណាគឺយើង limit មកល្មមមកយើងប្រើសម្រាប់ user ប៉ុណ្ណឹងទៅហើយក្រោយ user ធ្វើការឡើងចុះយើងអាចថែមថយបានអញ្ចឹងទៅresult ដែលយើងset ហ្នឹងគឺ optimize គឺមានថាមកល្មមអាចប្រើបានតើ right so the words optimize server virtualization here refer to the way we want to use the server at the optimum level. We don't want to underutilize or we don't want to or we don't want to overutilize. Okay, by using the cloud computing, we can adjust our resource according to our requirement. Okay. Next one is saving costs. Saving costs here. Let's say, for example, in here we got two keywords we call CAPEX and OPEX. CAPEX here refer to capital expense. Capital expense here refer to the expense at the beginning that we want to start up the expense at the beginning that we want to start up a company. Okay, and the OPEX here refer to operating expense. Operating expense here in the easy word refer to the staff salary. Okay. For example, let me create one scenario. Example, if you want to create a company and you have let's say a $10,000, okay, a $10,000 to set up a small company. So you may want to spend some money on the building. You may spend some money on the furniture or buying the server in order to host hosting your system. Okay. So that is referred to capital expense. The money that you spend before your company running, right? That is capital expense. And after your company start up, so you need to pay the salary to your staff, okay, to the worker. So that is operating expense. So by using the cloud computing, you don't have to spend money on buying the physical server. Okay, you got me? By using the cloud computing service, you don't have to spend money on buying the physical server in order to host your system. You can keep that money divert to use with the operating expense. Okay, everyone, clear?
Yep.
Okay. អញ្ចឹងឧទាហរណ៍ថា cost saving ហ្នឹងរបៀបម៉េច cost saving ហ្នឹងធម្មតានៅពេលដែលយើងចង់បើកក្រុមហ៊ុនមួយគឺយើងត្រូវការនេះចំណាយលុយអា capex នេះ capex ហ្នឹងគឺថ្លៃដើមថ្លៃដើមហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើលុយដែលយើងត្រូវការចំណាយមុនពេលក្រុមហ៊ុន start មុនពេលដែលក្រុមហ៊ុន run ណាយើងត្រូវការលុយទិញរបស់នេះទិញរបស់នោះទិញសម្ភារៈទិញនេះនោះអញ្ចឹងទៅមានដូចជាម៉ាស៊ីន server ដើម្បី hosting system របស់យើងចង់អីអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងបើយើងអត់ចង់ចំណាយលុយទិញម៉ាស៊ីន server ដល់ទៅរាប់ពាន់ដុល្លារជួនកាលយើងគិតហ្នឹងហើយបើយើងអត់ចង់ចំណាយលុយទៅទិញម៉ាស៊ីន server អស់រាប់ពាន់ដុល្លារយ៉ាងទេយើងអាចទុកលុយនឹងសិនបើទៅយើងប្រើសេវាកម្ម cloud សិនអូខេហើយទៅយើងអាចបវលលុយរាប់ពាន់ដុល្លារហ្នឹងយើងមកធ្វើជា operating expense សិន operating expense គឺសំដៅទៅលើប្រាក់ខែបុគ្គលិកនៅពេលដែលយើងក្រុមហ៊ុនយើង run ហើយយើងមានតែការចំណាយលុយប្រចាំខែបង់ទឹកបង់ភ្លើងបុគ្គលិកអីអញ្ចឹងទៅអត់ហ្នឹងហើយអញ្ចឹងយើងអាចចំណាយលុយហ្នឹងមកធ្វើជា operating expense វិញមិនបាច់កប់ចោលជាមួយនឹងទៅទិញម៉ាស៊ីន physical server ទេអូខេ Right, so the next one, dynamic scalability. Dynamic scalability, yeah. Example in a two scenario. If we buy a physical server in order to host our system, our planning could be wrong. It can be wrong. Example, if you plan like say 3,000 user, but the actual user can be more or less. So your server could be too much use or underuse. Okay. In contrast, if you use the cloud computing service can provide the scalability of resource. Okay. For example, at the beginning of your system, only few hundred users use. So you just have to provide enough resource to run with those few hundred customer. Later on, when when the client increase more and more, in the future you can increase it accordingly, right? Chứ chúng cái bởi dương tinh mà xin real physical mode, cả plan bởi dương vì ai khó á, chúng cái những cái tháng mà tới bạn bị bỏ nén khỏi mới tới client phải nhóm, đợt p chúng cái đợt p ran trình mode, chúng cái client mà ngày access cho tôi bán bảy nè phong, rồi còn chúng cái system bởi dương vì là opic, mẹ bay bón vì tay chỉ mà mở nè vĩnh, chẳng tới bên đó mà system bởi dương nó bị overuse, ok, vì ai tích vì ai lừa page, chẳng tới planning tinh mà xin server bởi dương vì ai khó. Tuy nhiên bây giờ per server cam cloud per case xếp vì ai scalable bàn, ok, scalable bàn nhưng tới ok bữa nơi đàm cho năm bữa nè per tích dương set result mà là mốt mà ai per tích nhưng từ là pay user increase data hộp bọn họ bữa nét chứ later on như ai increase user tam increase result bởi dương tam năng bàn, ok.
Nó khổ cho nó nhưng ai phải lý nghe mà nào nó khổ.
Nó ngày cặp bích nè cặp bích nhom trongประโยคอะไร cloud storage เนี่ยgiờ ai phải lý kia bàn chẳng tiếp theo nhom ประโยค ta lý kia nó mày, okay. And one more thing is about the reduce time for implementation, okay. Chứ đối mong SNA bây giờ chứ từ ngồi tại server mà khởi đá cứ mình CP tịch tệ thì mỗi setup OS thì bí đã security thì bấy từ setup server này server điện Apache mail server này server đúng set firewall đây là nhảy trơn tăng thằng ngòm là server nó muốn đào làng bàn rồi tới từ maintenance là hậu tiệt đặt bán từ cả backup mà ngày mà đòn server này từ cả backup mày mà đòn user từ cả backup mày mà ngày mà đòn nhưng từ implement nhưng từ cả maintenance là hậu bên tay bây giờ per server cam cloud này cứ khang trong phone cloud nó cứ cái che backup ấy mà sát ao hay vậy nhưng tới dương mà xây kho lượng maintenance rồi còn tờ lạng OS dạ p CP tờ lạng OS CP tờ ca tờ ca tờ lạng server này server nu order riêng per server cam cloud nó bữa tha bộ Amazon AWS món ưu tiên tha nhóm tờ ca dùng bản tu server mùi đã miền Apache vào xếp database mà xếp điện em mà xếp nhưng mà xếp nhưng còn thích mất cho start up mất tập pin tí ban dùng bản tu server mà sát hồi tới miền server để dương list trong ban nó cứ mau chừng một khi hai mà sát mòn anh nói bộ cloud ai thợ bán á tay bởi dương mới dương thợ chạy nhẹ virtual machine gì chẳng không tay cloud ai thợ bán, okay. So here reduce time for implementation, like what you see during the network security class. In order to build up a server, you need to do a lot of things, right? You need to have the server. You need to set up the OS. You need to set up each server, Apache server, database server, mail server, file server. Each server one by one, and you got to concern about the security as well, right? It take a very long time in order to make that server work. In contrast, if you use the cloud service, those kind of stuff can be provided within a minute. Let's say Amazon AWS, when you need to have some sort of, let's say Ubuntu server that come up with the Apache, come up with the mail server, come up with database server, everything implement there. You just have to check, and then once you just start it up, everything just come to you within a minute. That is fast, okay, fast, and you don't have to care about the maintenance or backup. The cloud server, the cloud provider will do all those stuff for you. Okay. Even though there are so many advantages of using the clouds like that, but we also have the concern about the security policy and transparency as well, okay? Because when we rely or depend so much on the cloud company, it means that everything belongs to them, right? If we use their virtual machine, yeah, their virtual machine belongs to them. So their technical, so their technician people would be able to access to your data or see something regarding to your privacy as well. Okay, so that is a little bit difficult either. អញ្ចឹងវាទោះបីជាមានគុណសម្បត្តិវាច្រើនវាស្រួលប្រើវាលឿនអីចឹងមែនប៉ុន្តែវាក៏មានបញ្ហាខ្លះវាតាក់ទងទៅនឹង transparency តម្លាភាព transparency បើប្រាប់ថាតម្លាភាពគឺមានថាចុះបើយើងផ្ញើលើគេអញ្ចឹងទៅគេចូលគេលួចមើល data របស់យើងអត់គេនឹង check មើល system របស់យើងអត់អីអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងទៅក៏មានបញ្ហាត្រង់នឹងខ្លះដែរអញ្ចឹងទៅអាហ្នឹងតតែពិភាក្សាមុនពេលដែលយើងប្រើក្រុមហ៊ុន cloud service cloud របស់ក្រុមហ៊ុនណាមួយគឺយើងត្រូវតែ check មើល SLA នេះ check មើល service បើគេបានធ្វើត្រូវសិនថាគួរទុកចិត្តអត់អូខេ
លោកគ្រូចា៎ណាបើយើងបាត់ data នៅក្នុងអា cloud ហ្នឹងធ្វើមិនទៅលោកគ្រូ
ធម្មតាone question from your friend what if we lost our data in with that cloud company well the answer is you don't have to worry because normally each cloud company they back up your data very secure sorry they back up your data very it's meant that you don't have to worry about the data loss with those cloud company you don't have to worry about that because those cloud company would back up your data constantly to prevent from customer data loss. It seems like each cloud company they guarantee 99.99% of availability. ខ្ញុំកុំភ័យរឿង data loss គឺមិនងាយបាត់ទេបើថាក្រុមហ៊ុនធំដូចជា Amazon អីចឹងណាគេ guarantee ថាកុំថា data loss សូម្បីតែ system ឬក៏ server down ណា 99.99% มันអាច down បានទេគឺធានាឲ្យចឹងទៀត
លោកគ្រូចុះ data យើងគេដាក់បាននៅមួយកន្លែងលោកគ្រូបើ server
we have no idea how many location that those cloud company back up our data but we just know that multiple places multiple countries even though one country got a flooding or lost data center in that country however your data would be available in other various countries ច្រើនប្រទេសកុំភ័យព្រោះទៅក៏គេមិនដែលឲ្យយើងដឹងដែរសូម្បីតែ Facebook សូម្បីតែអីហ្នឹងគឺផ្ញើទុក data ច្រើនណាទោះបីជាយើង trace route ទៅរកមើល IP របស់ Facebook ហ្នឹងសូម្បីតែ IP Facebook ពិតប្រាកដហ្នឹងលេខម៉ានក៏យើងមិនដឹងផងអូខេបើថាយើងព្យាយាម hack ទៅកាន់ server របស់ Google វិញគាត់ថា trace route ទៅដល់គៀក server របស់វាមែនតើហ្មង block ពឹប Are you robot or human ចឹងទៅនឹងនិយាយទេសូម្បីតែ IP ពិតប្រាកដរបស់គេក៏គេមិនឲ្យយើងដឹងផងអូខេ
ចឹងលោកគ្រូចង់សួរបន្តិចថាតើបើយើងប្រើ server របស់គេយើងបានផលអីខ្លះព្រោះបើយើង build server ខ្លួនឯងយើងមានគុណសម្បត្តិអីខ្លះព្រោះយើង build ខ្លួនឯង
Okay, so like I explained earlier, so these are the advantages that we use the existing cloud service provided by the cloud company. Okay, here are the advantages. Okay, and the disadvantage is that policy and transparency. We have no idea what happened to our data when we keep our data with those cloud company. We are not sure if their technical staff want to check our data or check our system. We have no idea. And for the advantage of that we build our own of our own cloud is that we got control of our data 100%. But we have to spend so much time for implementation. We got to back up our data. We have to maintain our system or our data constantly. It's meant that we have to do everything. Yeah, we have to do everything.
chẳngមានន័យថាបើយើងវា server ខ្លួនឯងអត់សូវមានគុណប្រយោជន៍អត់សូវមានលក្ខណៈថាអត់សូវបានផលមែនលោកគ្រូតើបើយើងយកប្រើរបស់គេទៅគេ maintenance ឲ្យយើងហូតចឹងមែន
មិនថាប្រើខ្លួនឯងបានផលទេក៏លើយើងអត់មាន result គ្រប់គ្រាន់ណាឧទាហរណ៍ថាបើយើងជួល server របស់គេមកយើងយកតែការចំណាយលុយទិញ physical server ទេ physical server ល្មមមកប្រើបានយ៉ាងហោចណាស់ក៏$10000ដែរអញ្ចឹងទៅបើយើងជួលរបស់គេប្រើស្រាប់មួយខែមួយខែបងឲ្យគេតែ50រៀលហ្នឹងវាល្មមប្រើ client ត្រឹម200-300នាក់អី500នាក់អីខែអត់តែ50រៀលហ្នឹងប្រើល្អពេកចុះអូខេព្រោះទៅយើងអត់តការ backup data យើងអត់តការ technician ដើម្បី maintenance server ហ្នឹងហើយទៅយើងក៏មិនខ្វល់អីតិចមេរកស៊ីទៅតិច hacker hack ចូលទៅយើងអត់សការខ្វល់យើងមិនទេប៉ុន្តែបើយើង build ខ្លួនឯងទី1ទៅចំណាយលុយទិញម៉ាស៊ីន server ខ្លួនឯងទី2ទៅចំណាយលុយ implement គឺមានថាគួយ set up OS ធ្វើនេះធ្វើនោះ configure firewall ឲ្យខ្លួនឯងហើយចុះបើមាន hacker ពីមក hack ចូលមកយើងទប់ព្រួយអត់ firewall របស់យើងហ្នឹងហើយទៅបើបាត់ data យើងបាន backup ដូចទុកឲ្យត្រឹមត្រូវអត់ខ្ញុំថាអ្វីបើយើងប្រើរបស់គេវាស្រួលមួយយ៉ាងប៉ុន្តែ data ផ្ញើលើគេបើយើង build ខ្លួនឯងយើងស្រួលខ្លួនប៉ុន្តែយើងភ័យខ្លួនរឿង transparency តែប៉ុណ្ណា
អញ្ចឹងមានលក្ខណៈថាដូចធនាគារអញ្ចឹងលោកគ្រូអញ្ចឹងធនាគារភាគច្រើនគេបើ server ខ្លួនឯងឬក៏គេប្រើរបស់ cloud ដែរ
Okay, so one good question from your friend. And how about the bank? Does the bank need to have cloud service or the bank should have his own cloud? The answer is hybrid cloud. We are going to discuss that later in this part. Okay, cloud storage. Okay, so I will answer you after we study about this point. Okay. Any more question? No? If no, okay, let's move a little bit about the cloud storage. In a very simple word, cloud storage refers to the way that we store data online. Yeah. If you store data inside your computer or inside the local area network, that is local storage. If you store data across the internet, example like Google Drive, Dropbox, Office 365 or like that, that is considered to be cloud storage. Okay. Company data are stored in and accessible from multiple distributed connected resources that comprise clouds. So if you use cloud storage, it means that you upload your data into cloud company. Okay. Cloud storage provide benefit, greater accessibility and reliability, rapid deployment, strong protection of data backup and archival and disaster recovery purpose, lower overall storage costs as a result of not having to purchase, manage and maintain expensive hardware. អញ្ចឹង cloud storage នេះវាមានគុណសម្បត្តិមួយចំនួនមានដូចជា accessibility គឺមានថាយើង access ពីណាទៅក៏បានពីព្រោះ data យើងគឺទុកនៅលើ internet ស្រាប់យើងនៅណាក៏ដោយយើងមាន device ក៏ដោយឲ្យតែយើងមាន permission គឺយើង access ទៅបានហើយទៅវាអាចទុកចិត្តបានវាមិនងាយបាត់ទៅណាទេមួយទៀត rapid deployment កន្លែងហ្នឹងគឺមានថាបើយើងចង់បានឧទាហរណ៍ថាឥឡូវហ្នឹងក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់យើងទិញ space 50G បើយើងចង់ទិញថែម 50G ទៀតឡើង 100G អូខេទិញបានភ្លាមតឡើងបានភ្លាមមួយទៀត strong protection គឺមានថាក្រុមហ៊ុន cloud ហ្នឹងគឺគេ backup ឬក៏អី data របស់យើងមកស្រេចហើយមិននិយាយថា data loss ឬក៏ hacker អីទៅញញៃជាមួយទេអូខេ មួយទៀត lower overall storage cost គឺមានថាយើងអត់ត្រូវការចំណាយលុយទិញ storage ខ្លួនឯងទេ Okay, so here are some benefit of using the cloud storage. The first one is accessibility and reliability. Accessibility here refer to that you can access to your data from anytime, anywhere, or any devices as long as you have permission to access to that data. Okay. Rapid deployment here refer to, let's say for example, currently you have a 50 GB of storage. And what if you want to increase to 100 GB? Yeah, you can just pay more and you get it instantly. Okay, so that is fast deployment. Next one, strong protection. Yeah, so for data backup and data protection from the hacker like that, those cloud companies are already prepared for you. You don't have to care about to back up your data or prevent your data from hacker like that. Okay, and next one, lower overall storage cost. It means that you don't have to spend money to buy the hardware. Those cloud companies take care of that already. Okay. However, cloud storage had the potential of the security and compliance concern. Yeah, just like I mentioned earlier, if you keep your system, your data with the cloud company, we are not sure about our privacy of our data. It could be someone inside that cloud company may check your data or do something with your system. We have no idea. So it could be a security and compliance as well. Okay. Here we got the cloud storage types. Actually, the cloud storage are divided into three types of cloud storage. Let's say the first one is a public cloud or external storage cloud. Okay. អញ្ចឹង cloud storage ហ្នឹងទៅបានបែងចែកទៅជា3ប្រភេទ ទីមួយគឺគេហៅថា public cloud ឬក៏ external storage cloud នេះពេលថា public មួយម៉ាត់គឺយើងយល់ណា public គឺមានថាណាគេក៏អាចប្រើបានដែរឧទាហរណ៍ថា Google Drive ឧទាហរណ៍ថា Dropbox ឬក៏ហ្នឹងឯក្រុមហ៊ុន storage មួយកណោផ្សេងទៀតហ្នឹងគឺដែលប្រើប្រាស់ឲ្យមនុស្សទូទៅអាច upload data ទៅបានហ្នឹងអូខេអាហ្នឹងគឺ public cloud. Okay, public cloud. So if you talk about the word public here, you may understand that those kind of cloud service that are publicly used. Example like a Google Drive, like a Microsoft Cloud, like a Dropbox. Everyone can access to that. So that is public cloud. Enterprise and storage device service provider are separate. So your company and your cloud company are different. Okay. ចាំមានថាក្រុមហ៊ុនយើងមាន data ប៉ុន្តែ data ហ្នឹងគឺអត់ទុកនៅក្រុមហ៊ុនយើងទេផ្ទុយទៅវិញគឺយើងទៅទុកផ្ញើនៅលើ cloud provider ណោះ Data is stored outside the company enterprise data center. So it means that you have your own company, but you do not keep your data inside your company. In contrast, you offload your data to the cloud provider. Data អត់ទុកនៅយើងទេប៉ុន្តែយើងទៅផ្ញើនៅលើក្រុមហ៊ុន cloud ណោះ With the public cloud storage, enterprise and small business offload their data storage and archival backup needed to the third-party cloud storage service provider, freeing them from expensive cost of having to purchase, manage, and maintain on-premise storage hardware and software resources. អញ្ចឹងក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់យើងហ្នឹងគឺ enterprise របស់យើងហ្នឹងគឺឲ្យខ្វល់ទេឲ្យតែមាន data គឺបញ្ចេញទៅឲ្យ cloud storage អស់ហ្នឹងទៅ cloud storage provider អស់ហ្នឹងទៅព្រោះទៅយើងមិនខ្វល់អំពីរឿងការ backup ឬក៏គ្រប់គ្រងឬក៏អីទេគឺគេធ្វើឲ្យយើងមិនស្អាតឲ្យ Okay. So in short, public cloud here refer to that company do not keep the data inside the company. In contrast, the company upload their data to the cloud provider. Okay, and that is called public cloud. Here we got some advantage of the using of the public cloud, like pay as you use. This means that you pay only for what you use. If you use little resource, you pay only very little. If you use a bigger resource, you may pay more. nhưng ពេល as you use ហ្នឹងគឺមានន័យថាប្រើប៉ុណ្ណា pay អត់តែប៉ុណ្្នឹងទេ Scalability, yeah, I thought you understand that already. It means that you can increase or decrease amount of resource. Elasticity, yeah, just similar to scalability. It means that it can be provision, it can be add more, or it can be decrease. Release, it means here it's mean a decrease. Yeah, it can be increase or decrease. Availability, yeah, you can access from anywhere or any times. Maintenance, it means that you don't have to take care of those data. OPEX model, like I mentioned earlier, you can keep your money for the operating expense without having to purchase those storage investment. Okay, so these are the advantages of using public cloud. However, besides these advantages, we also have some problem either. Let's say control. When you upload your data into the cloud service provider, so the cloud service provider will control your data. Okay, they will control your data. Sometimes you don't even have the complete control of your own data. ចឹងបើយើងផ្ញើ data ទៅលើគេហើយគឺគេ control data យើងហើយរួចទៅគេបានគេបើកសិទ្ធឲ្យយើងប្រើវិញជួនកាលក៏យើងមិនអាចមានសិទ្ធ fully control of your data as well អត់មានសិទ្ធ control នៅលើ data របស់យើងបាន 100% ទេ okay. Next thing is about data security. Yeah, if you send your data into those cloud, it could be some sort of high risk of breach data. It means that someone there may check your data. Yeah. The third one, login. The word login here refer to that you cannot move from one to another. បើនិយាយជាខ្មែរវិញ login ហ្នឹងគេហៅថា clay ឧទាហរណ៍ថាយើងឧទាហរណ៍ថាតាំងពីដើមមកយើងធ្លាប់ប្រើ Google service វា free អីអញ្ចឹងទៅយើងមានឯកសារយើងមួយចំនួននៅលើ Google Sheet, Google Doc, Google Spread អីអញ្ចឹងទៅដល់ពេលថ្ងៃក្រោយមកគឺថាចង់ប្រើ Office 365 វិញអញ្ចឹងទៅយើងត្រូវការ move data របស់យើងពី Google ទៅ Office 365 so move កើតអត់កើតទេអាហ្នឹងគឺគេហៅថា login តើយល់យើងធ្លាប់ប្រើណាគឺប្រើហ្នឹងហើយដល់ពេលយើងត្រឡប់ចង់ប្រើផ្សេងវិញក៏មិនបាក់ហ៊ានប្រើហើយទៅណាមួយទៀតយើងមិនដឹង move data ពី format Google Drive ឲ្យទៅជា Office 365 វិញយើងវាខុសនេះខុសនោះអីចឹងណាហ្នឹងទៅក៏មិនបាក់បដូរចិត្តដែរអាហ្នឹងគឺគេហៅថា login. Okay. So the word login here refers to, let's say for example, you have been using the Google service for the whole time. You are using Google Docs, Google Sheet or Google Presenter from the very beginning. So once you want to change from Google Docs to, let's say, Office 365, it is very difficult to move your document from the format of Google Docs into the Office 365. It's not that easy. Okay, so that is called a login. Okay, and the last one is the problem of cost. So at the beginning, you may see that it's not that expensive because we have small amount of data, but later on when our data become bigger and bigger, more and more data offload to the cloud service provider, they will charge you more and more. So in the future, you may have problem with the cost. because of your data increasingly bigger and bigger. Okay, so that is called public cloud. So in short, I just make a small summary. Public cloud refers to the kind of cloud service that are publicly used. Anyone or any company can access and use those kind of cloud service. Okay, everyone can access and use those cloud service. It has some advantages, like you pay for only what you use. It can be increased or decreased. You don't have to care about the maintenance. Okay, but it also have some concern about the control. Yeah, sometimes you cannot completely control your own data, or you may have to concern about the data security because you offload your data to them. And sometimes it's very difficult to move from one cloud company to another cloud company. Yeah, it's difficult to move. And in the future, you may pay more and more because of your data become increasingly bigger and bigger. Right? That is public cloud. So let me compare a little bit about a public cloud, and the next one is called a private cloud. Private cloud, in short, refer to that that company. The company may be valuable, or maybe have a large amount of money enough. So they decide to have their own cloud. Yeah. So they decide to build up their own cloud. So that is called private cloud. Okay. And the next one, I talk about the hybrid cloud. The word hybrid cloud here, if you see the word hybrid, does it mean? If you see the hybrid car, it means that the car that can use with the gasoline and battery at the same time, right? Okay. So the hybrid cloud is the cloud that is the between public and private. What is that? Public and private. So it means that by using the hybrid cloud, the company owner upload some big data or some data that are not so important to the public cloud. Okay. And the company keep the important data inside his private own cloud. អ្នកគ្នាតន់ពាក្យថា hybrid cloud កន្លែងហ្នឹងគឺសំដៅទៅលើត្រង់ថាក្រុមហ៊ុនមួយហ្នឹង data មួយចំនួនដែលគិតថាអត់សូវសំខាន់ឬក៏ data ធំពេកគាត់ upload ចូលទៅក្នុង public cloud ចោលទៅអូខេគាត់ទៅដល់ពេល data ណាសំខាន់ data ណាដែលតកតទៅនឹង privacy របស់ក្រុមហ៊ុនអីគឺគាត់ keep នៅក្នុង private cloud របស់ខ្លួនគាត់តន់
So
okay
so I have a question in my mind.
Sure.
Do you know what type of cloud use big company like Google, Facebook, etc.?
Actually, those companies are already very, very big. So I'm quite sure that they are using their private own cloud.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, yes, because their data, I think that their data is very important, and those companies are very valuable and they are very rich. So yeah, 100% they have their own cloud.
Okay, thank you.
អញ្ចឹងពាក្យថា hybrid cloud នោះគឺសំដៅទៅលើថាក្រុមហ៊ុនមួយហ្នឹង data អត់សូវសំខាន់ទេគេផ្ញើទុកនៅលើ public cloud ទៅព្រោះទៅដល់ពេល data ណាសំខាន់គេមាន cloud private របស់គេដើម្បីទុកខ្លួនគេ Okay. All right, so next time I will go detail about private cloud and hybrid cloud again, okay?
Okay.
ចឹងបងប្អូនគ្នាចាំផងរៀនអាទិត្យក្រោយដល់នេះ private cloud. Okay ហ្នឹងហើយ Okay, so any question? No. If no, okay. So we see each other again on Thursday in the tape of the network security. Okay.
បាទលោកគ្រូបាទ
សប្បាយចា៎
Up on the call.
Look,
Okay. Bye bye.